Okay, now we're going to be working on a stem and leaf plot. These are not new either. They're from elementary. You've been working on them at least in 5th grade, but I think also 4th. Okay, here's a good little visual. It looks like a vertical stem with leaves on the right side. Okay, so sometimes it's just called a stem plot, but we call it a stem and leaf plot here. Okay, so I'm working on, when I lay these out here, when I organize these numbers, the 3 on the left are usually my tens place, and oh, sorry, it's after school here, and then the ones place is usually over here. Sometimes these digits are a little different. This may be a decimal value, but there's usually going to be a key that will tell you, okay? So the numbers represented here, we go from least to greatest. I see a 37, 41, 42, and a 54, okay? There are not very many numbers, but we don't count these as separate numbers, okay? So my median here, okay, if I look at these, if I go through and say, well, all right, get rid of the largest and smallest. Now there's only 2 left. It's something in the middle. So 41 plus 42 is 83. So 83 divided by 2. I'm going to get 41 and a half. Okay, 41 and a half is between 41 and 42. So that is the median. Now my mode, none of these are on here more than once, so there is no mode. Okay, there is no mode. Now my range, again, is the biggest number minus the smallest number. So it's 54 minus 37. So 14 minus 7 is 7, and 4 minus 3 is 1. So my range is 17. Okay, now my mean, remember we have to add them up and divide by 4 because there are 4 numbers. Sorry. 37 plus 41, 78. Can add 42, 120. Okay, I'm going to add 120 to 54. And I have 174, but that's not my answer. That is my total. Remember, that is when we combine all of our families. But now I need to divide them between the 4 numbers. So 174 divided by 4. Now, your mean can never be lower than that smallest number, and it can't be bigger than your largest number. But depending on your outliers, it's usually somewhere around the middle or somewhere close to the cluster. 4 times 4 is 16. That tells me it's going to be a 40-something. Bring this down, and I get a 4 right here. 4 times 3 is 12, and I get a 2. So I want to choose a decimal here. 4 times 5 is 20. So it's 43.5. Now, your mean is a number that's not even on there sometimes. Your median can be too. Your mode has to be on there because it's the one that appears most, if there is a mode. But my mean is not even on here. There is no 43.5, but that is the average of all of them, okay? Now, this one here, a lot more numbers on this one, okay? This is still in your journal, okay? The stem and leaf plot shows the amount of time that it took Mr. Smith's students to get to school. How many students spent 10 minutes traveling to school? That would be exactly 10 minutes. So if I look at the, my key tells me that this means 25. So that's the tens place and the ones place. So the 10-minute one is just that one right there. So one student spent exactly 10 minutes. Now, sometimes you may think, well, does it mean at least 10 minutes? If it meant at least 10 minutes, it would say that, okay? Number 2 is an example of that. How many students, spent 15 or more minutes traveling to school? Okay, so it could say or more. So we'll get my 15 or more. So I'm going to underline them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I didn't count anything less than that, but 17 students. How many students are in the class? Well, these all were already 17, so 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 students. Okay? So now, we've answered some basic information about how to understand the stem and leaf plot. Now, you'll notice there are 2 students that spent 3 minutes traveling to school. They have to be on there both times. You can't just put a 3 on there once, okay? Now, these numbers are always in numerical order on the left side, but also going across horizontally, these are also in numerical order. All right, so now how to use this information, okay? My range is always the biggest minus the smallest. So my largest number is 45, that there's one student who spends 45 minutes traveling to school. Another student spends only 3 minutes, so the largest minus the smallest is 42. That means the difference between the largest and smallest is 42 minutes. Okay, now my median. I went ahead and wrote these down so that I can save a little time for you. So you can pause if you need to write all your numbers down to find your median. I'm going to double check and make for sure that I got all 26 here though. Yep, got them all. Okay, so my median, again, is the very middle. I had 26, so that means there's an even number. So my median is going to be between 2 numbers, okay? So I'm going to mark out my 3 and my 45 together. I'm going to mark out this 3 and this 35 together. Okay, I'm going to mark them out in pairs, my 5 and my 30. I'll underline the 7 and the 28. I'm going to put a heart on the 8 and the 28. I'm going to put a box around the 9 and the 25. I'm going to put a line through my 10 and 25. A circle around the 12 and 23. How about a triangle on my 13 and 23? An X over the 15 and 23. A slash through the 16 and 21. A circle again. 16 and 20, it came down to 18 and 19. So that tells me that my median is between those 2. Now these 2 are consecutive numbers. They're right in a row. So my answer is going to be the one right in the middle. So which would be 18 and 1/2. Okay, if you weren't sure about that, you could go ahead and add them together and divide by 2 and you would get the same thing.